I'm back with another Malcom 2025 stage demo. There were an array of stage demos over the weekend, which I all captured while I was there. This one is by Margot, who I had the pleasure of meeting at the event. She's a co-organizer of the Scale Model Challenge in Europe. The first few of these stage demos will have a bit of shoddy camera work, so
please forgive me.
For the subsequent ones which took place in the second day of the event, this issue will be mitigated. Before we start, I want to remind everyone that the second wave of my miniature has already launched and pre-orders are ongoing. The second wave will start shipping in September, so make sure you get your order in before they're sold out. These come in a premium packaging. If you dig the design, please do consider supporting the channel, as this is my full-time gig. I hope to do more of these characters in the future. Feathers and Steel is a globe-trotting passion project for which I hope to release a lot more of the characters from this universe. And to give you a little bit of teaser, I'm actually working with some other artists as well to bring their designs in miniature form to you. So I hope you'll keep the love and support coming. I really do appreciate it. Well, let's get going, shall we?
To show all the texture, so I will show how to paint wool. So if you paint the uniform and you only do the blending, then it doesn't look like wool. So if you use stippling, what is very easy, even if you are not good in blending, you can make the best results with this. Today, one thing I always do is printing some samples from wool. So also if you want to do some more difficult things, I print it and enlarge it. If you see here, I take this between these two as my guideline. If you see the wool, it's not everywhere the same color. It's regular. And of course, on the deepest lines, you see the shadow. And in the deepest shadow, you don't have to do the stippling because it's not visible. But if you go lower to this shadow, then you see a little bit of the stippling. And if you go on the middle tone, you see more stippling. And at the edge, it's even lighter. So a uniform is never just one color. So I prepare already some colors because it's not interesting to see how I mix my colors, because you can use your own colors, no matter which color you use. One thing is, never make your paint too thin, because then you cannot do the stippling. I use matte varnish, and of course I clean my brush so there will be a little bit water. But if you use the matte varnish, it sticks more to the place where you put it. And of course it needs to dry a little bit, but also when you do wet and wet, it can be very beautiful. So it's the most easy way to have a really beautiful result, in my opinion. So, I tried to show you something. People ask what kind of brush do you need to use for that. Never use a soft brush, because a soft brush don't allow you to make the dots. Never do one layer, no matter if it's highlight or in the shadow or the midtone. Always do different layers. If you have one layer, it looks like stippling. If you do several layers, then it looks like fabric. So the most important thing is do several layers. If you can see here on the bust, I started with a kind of greenish, and I didn't like it. So I don't need to remove it, because it only makes it more interesting if you have more colors. So later on I started with some bluish, because it's this figure, and their uniforms were more to the gray blue. So I did already here some stippling, and I leave some space to show you. This will be a lighter area, so I will go there with a middle tone. Not immediately, I leave it a little bit lighter so you can see the stippling. So, you see the difference between this is very fine stippling, because I thought it fits much more to the bust. And now I start with not too fine, just go around and have fun. So I hope you all can see it. I try to keep my hands on the right way, so it's too thin. Your paint has to be a little bit creamy. Okay, here we go. It's still too wet. I will take a little bit more of the dark ones so you can see it. I hope the camera can show it. So I'm just random stippling. Just go random. Don't think on the results in the beginning. Just do it like this. Probably I need my Optivisor. I'm an old lady. I hope I'm not in front of the camera. Not too wet, that's the most important thing. And just stippling. It's large stipples, as you see. I have no hair dryer, so I need to be slowly. I always start to do a rough sketch of the highlight, the light and the shadow. It doesn't have to be blend or whatever, because at a certain moment you blend with the stipples. You see that I'm just random. It's just the first layer. Not important. Well, it's important, but not to do it very accurate. Later on, I take a smaller brush, a lighter color, and I go over it. Not exactly on the stipples that I did before, but just random. And then you see, because the brush is smaller, the stipples will be smaller too. I work on to the top to small stipples. In the beginning, you can just do large. It's just like a base color. So I go on. I think I make the paint a little bit too wet. Here I have a fold that needs light. I stippled already at home, so as you can see, I avoid to go in the fold and only keep the light. You see now it looks very strange. It looks like dots, but it will change. I will try to do a small area so you can see the results. Just random, don't, even if you are nervous, you can do it, you can see. And you can change every time. If you think you missed a light or a dark area, you can change it. It's no problem at all. The more layers, the more beautiful it is. Just take an old brush. And what one good advice for the figure painter is, if you did a part like this, just take your figure and look like this. Because if you look from a distance in a normal light, you see if you have enough light on it. If you always hold it under your lamp, you can't see if it looks good on the table, because everywhere the light is different. So, and at the end, at the highest highlights, sometimes I paint without the lamp, only the normal light in the room. So put it like this, take a look, and then you can see where you need to have more light or more shade. So let's go on to the next color. And every brush is okay. Just find your favorite brush to do this. I never use white to make it brighter. I use white gray. So I will go again with some lighter color, and you can see that it's not real round stipples. It's like regular dots or stripes. It doesn't have to be a perfect stipple. You can see it on the example also. It's very regular. All brushes are very good to do this. So every time you change the color, oops, I made my palette too wet. I don't like this brush, so I take another one. You have to find your own brush. There's no brand or whatever. For me, it's different to paint here with air conditioning because I don't need that at home. So you already see it's coming slowly together. Some people think it's very annoying to do, but for me it's like meditation. So I go a little bit lighter on the shoulder. So with the lighter color, I can bring everything together. So here you see still the rough stippling. It's like a sketch. And then you go on. If it's too bright, like for example here, it doesn't need to be so bright. I do it now on purpose. It's too white, you see, and then I do a wash. You can use the thinner, it's better than water, but for now I do the water. You thin out your paint, and then you make a wash. and it will bring the color together. You see, it makes it more, it brings the colors more together. The shade here is a little bit too dark, the light here is a little bit too light. So just make a wash over it. I hope everybody can see it. So now it already looks better. And then I can go on. And it doesn't matter which kind of paint you use, but don't make it too wet. I make my palette too wet, so, but it works. It's not an excuse. And the washes is something you really need to do to bring everything together. And always hold one hand on the other hand to get, also if you paint something else, it's better to be steady. And I love to have my figure in my hand, and when it gets shiny, I use a varnish. So when you have it in your hand, it's more comfortable. So this shadow is a little bit too dark, so I'm gonna stipple to bring it together. I hope you can see it. Here I need a little bit more darker. So you go back and forwards. If you paint a figure, never paint just one part. Just go back and forward on all the figure, on the whole figure. Because if you only paint just one part, at the end you have a nice figure with different parts. If you paint on a canvas, people paint on a canvas, they never start on one flower or whatever. They make a sketch and then they paint all over the place, and then everything comes together. If you keep focusing on only one thing, of course I can't do it now because the time is too short for that, but normally I would also now do this shoulder and then go here and then go back and then look at this, because if you focus only on one point, at the end it will not be a whole thing. So it's better to go back and forwards and start here and then there and then go back here, because your eyes refreshing themselves also when you go to other parts of your figure. Because also for me, I don't see really well, so I have a reading glass now and an optivisor, so you always look like this and you only see this little part. At the end it will be all different parts. That's also why you need to use the blending to bring it together. And so I also paint some color here and some color here to see how it works together. So sometimes I see on Instagram and it looks really great, they have painted a face and the rest is all black. So you never know if the colors that you are choosing for the clothes are fitting to the color of the face. So it's much more better to do the base color all over and then start to bring everything together, because the face can be so beautiful, but like for example this bust, it's cold colors, but on the face I used warmer colors. and then it pops out. So if you only start to finish the face, maybe it doesn't work with the rest of the colors that you are using. So that's also a tip. And refresh your eyes. Just if you don't see it so well anymore because you're tired, take a break, have a tea. For the guys who smoke or the girls who smoke, but refresh your eyes. And that's also why you have to do like this. Because if I look like this, I already can see if it works or not. So don't focus too much on one point of your figure. Just go back and forward. So let's try to finish some more. So I was thinking that it was too dark, so I'm gonna lighten it up. And even if you use the same color on the same spot, it will make a difference, because every spot you leave is building up. It's not like blending. If you make washes or blendings, it's flat. But every layer you put on that, it will level. So at the end, if you want to do it a smooth painting on a stippling, then you have to sandpaper it, because you cannot do a smooth painting on a stippling, because acrylic leaves every time a layer, and because of the stippling you have different layers, so that's why it looks really like fabric. If there are questions, please, you can ask. Don't be shy. So I hope you can see that I changed this spot, and if you have like a darker line, the further away you do the stipples, you have for this, for example, for the shade, here I leave some space, and here I do more stipplings. So if you want to have more other colors, don't stipple every time on the same place. So that's, and once you get it, just try it and on an old thing or whatever, but once you get it, I'm addicted to it. It's the easiest way to paint a figure. I'm actually oil painter, and I can't blind with acrylics, but I can cheat with this technique, because it looks blind, like you are very good with acrylic, but I'm not. I'm not good with acrylic. So if you see, I leave this because there's a little darker color underneath, so I go lighter. It's not really a problem when it's still wet, as long as the paint is not too wet. And later on, you underline the seams, and then it really looks great. I have also a more darker color, but I only use them in the shades. So this one will be enough for the seam here. I hope my hand will work with me. I hope you can see it. So with this technique, it's very good to underline things. And even if you make a mistake, you can correct it with the stippling. So stippling is your best friend. I think it needs a little bit more light here. So you see, I'm not going only down, but I'm going back and forwards. And actually you have to do that every time when you paint the figure. Because otherwise you have a figure with beautiful parts, but it's not completed. And if your hand is not steady, you make a mistake, you just stipple over it. And then it looks like it was really steady. So I go back to the little bit darker part. You see that I have a smaller brush now. So my paint is much too wet now, but I can't change it. Probably is because of the air conditioning. If there are any questions, just ask. You see, I'm not staying on one small part, but I'm going back and forwards. Most important. Build up the layers. And because you use the matte varnish, it already looks like fabric. Maybe it's boring to look at, but it's fun to do. And you see the green that I used before is already gone. I'm going more down now because I see the volumes. And you see my stipples are not always round. You can easily follow the volumes in this way. Is there a question? No questions? Okay. I'm gonna do again a wash to combine everything. Also do a lighter wash. If it's too dark. I change the color a little bit. And then I go on with the stippling. The lightest part is always, well, it depends on if you paint with a special light. It's not always like this, but normally the lightest point, if you have the light from the top, what is the easiest way to paint? It's always good to look like this on your figure. Look above, and then you see, this is the point I see, this is the point I see, this is the point, this is the point. Here, here. So you see exactly where you have to put your light. If you turn it around, then you also see what I see here is the darkest. What I see here is dark. What I see here is dark. So if you have problems with finding the right volumes, then you do like this, and you look on top. You can also pre-shade it with the primer, and then you already, even if you paint over it, you already have some print in your mind where it was. But you can always find it back when you look on top of it. So, another tip. And of course, it's great when you can paint with a very different light. But I think for people who just begin, it's better not to do too difficult. Because if you try something what you have not the knowledge for, then it will be a disappointing for you. And I mean, as fun it is to win medals, never paint for the medal, because you never know which judge you, so you never know what is his opinion about the figure. Just paint what you like. I mean, my figures are most of the time in my own cabinet, so it's better that I like it instead that I have a medal for it. Painting for a medal kills your creativity. Painting for competition is not that bad, but painting for a medal is not a good way. So you always think, I did it in the beginning also, and I was always painting and thinking, what does the judge want from me? What do they want? What do they want to see? But a medal is an opinion from maybe 3, 4, 5 people on a certain moment, in a certain light, in a certain mood. And also if they try to avoid their own taste. I mean, this figure has 4 silver, 1 gold, and 1 highly commended. So, I mean, it's great to win a medal, but the best thing is to have fun on your painting. So don't think what judges will like to see, because you don't know. You don't know who will be the next judge. So just enjoy your painting and paint what you like, and then the judges will see that it's painted with fun, with pleasure, that's more important than the techniques. The techniques will come as more and more you paint figures. Your technique will getting better. And after I stopped painting for medals, for what I thought the judges wanted to see from me, I had much more fun. And I do whatever I like. And maybe, I know that I'm not the best painter in the world, but maybe I have the most fun in the world. So, and I choose the colors that I like. So this is something you can learn. You saw this now, and you can try it at home. But the mindset, that's something you have to do by yourself. And if the mindset is okay, your figure is great. So keep that in mind. Don't try to do too difficult, just enjoy. I go every year to Monte San Savino in Italy, and I take my figures, although I know that I will never win a medal anymore there in the Masters, because there are always new people with new techniques, and they will overrule you. Unless you're Kil Kanaev, then nobody can overrule you. But it doesn't matter. Even if you don't win a medal, the community is great. The joy you have from painting is great. And that's the most important thing. So the workshop was stippling, but I give you some other advice also. Because this can be boring to look at if I don't talk. You already see that it comes together. So now I'll go on this one, because it looks really strange now. Because this part is really dark. So if I only go on down, 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 it doesn't work. Because this is not okay, not yet. But I go on this one. Looks already more okay. So I will do slightly darker and go higher into the shade. It's regular. You don't need to make nice spots everywhere. I hope I don't move too much for the camera. I try to hurry up a little bit so you can see some of the results. It's a nice technique. You can do it even when you are old and start to shake. Maybe even easier. Everybody can do this. It's really, really easy. I hope you can see that it comes together a little bit more now. Go back a little bit over the lighter places. Can you see it? How it comes together? Just keep going. And sometimes you put the stipples a little bit closer to each other, and sometimes you put just a couple of stipples to bring it together. And it can't go wrong, because you can go back and forward as much as you want, as much as it needs. Now I have a line here. I don't want that, so I go back to some lighter colors. Now I'll be a little bit more careful. So it fits already better now, this whole thing. Now I do only here and there. Maybe you don't see it, but it's there. Just to combine everything. very important to look like this. If you don't do it, you don't see the volumes. You see now that the stipples will much more small and not everywhere. At this stage you need to take a look very well. Yep. And it doesn't matter which brand you use. You don't need to buy another brand as long as it's matte. If it's not matte, then use more varnish. It's better than using water. I try to refine this before my time is over. And I see now that this color is really not the color that I want. I did it before and it's not the color that I want. So it's completely wrong. It's too gray. So I go over it and I start again. It was too gray. And that's why I was to prepare the demo. I was working at home and I did some areas, but now I start to go all over. I see that the colors doesn't fit together. So that's the problem. If you only focus too much on one point, at the end it doesn't work together anymore. So with this technique, just put a layer over it and choose some other colors that fits to it. So the best what I can do now for myself is start here.
So Margot, the sketch is very important. The sketch.
Yes, because it makes it easy for yourself. It's really hard if you don't make a rough sketch. It's very rough, as you see. It's just very rough. But then you see where you have to put the highest highlights. And because I have it in my hand, you see that it starts to be glossy. But then I use my varnish and put my varnish over it. But because of its glossiness, I can also see where I need to put the highlights. And once I know that I need to put here the highlights, I put some varnish, but I also have varnish in my paint. If you have problems to see where you need to put your highlights, then make it a little bit wet. But I have it in my hands, so here I need to do the sketch is important, but only rough. Not blending, nothing. If you blend, it's a waste of time. So you don't need to blend. So I'm gonna, because I don't know what will be about this color, so I go on with this part, and then it fits to that part, and then I go on and down. So for now, I need to finish because the next one will become. If there are any questions, I'm still here. If you want to take a look on this figure, you can give it around. You see that there's also other textures, and for all these textures, print it out, enlarge it, and then you see the best advice I ever got in my painting career is from Kirill Kanaev. Don't be afraid, it's just dots and stripes. And I was saying, yeah, right, for you. But when I paint now, I always think it's just dots and stripes. And it is. He's always right. I don't know if he's here. But he's always right. And I learned these techniques, by the way, from Kirill. Also how to do this. So I'm stealing now his teaching to me, so, and to other people. So just show it around. It's an oldie. So that's it.
What are you waiting for? Slap the shit out of that button.